Hey, what it do? What it do? What it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to Games, Sports, and All the Smoke, episode 5, baby. As always, I got my number 2. Some call him the king of the boo. What up, Oogie Boogie? How you doing, homie?
I'm good, Q. What's going on, baby?
Man, chilling. This last week's kind of been crazy. It's so I don't know if you know this, but actually today, like just a couple hours ago, the new expansion for WoW dropped.
Yes, at 5 p.m., right? Central?
Yeah,
So
5
6
p.m.
p.m.
Central,
Eastern?
6 p.m. Eastern. I saw Tim had a whole bunch of people watching him earlier. It looks like he's still got 33,000 people watching him play World of Warcraft, which is phenomenal. So it had been a while since I played. I can't even remember. I think I might have said I was thinking about getting into it last episode, but I don't think I actually had done it yet.
Right.
So I finally got convinced to pick it up and start playing it. I told myself I was just going to do like the $15 monthly subscription. If it was something I was going to invest a lot of time into, I would end up buying Shadowlands. Luckily, I had someone in the community that said, if I was going to invest time in it, they were going to invest time in me, so they got me Shadowlands. So that's kind of cool. Shout out Maddie Figs, even though you're still a beta. But sorry, I had to.
Shout out, Maddie Figs.
Love you, bro. But so I was been doing some of that, and of course doing the DBD thing. But I am looking forward to, as anyone who's been through the channel knows, usually like that first week of rank reset. I want to pull, the hairs on my legs out. So, because obviously I don't have any on my head to pull out at this point. So I think I'm just going to end up dedicating like that first week of reset to WoW and playing that. And I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. To be perfectly honest, it's not my normal thing, but it makes it like a semi just chatting stream. Is nice in the morning, honestly.
Right. I can see that. I can see it. Definitely.
And it's nice. I feel like I say this every time since we've moved in, we're more settled in, more boxes are starting to get put away. The studio is continuing to come more and more together. I'm getting into a routine. I've already got so many ideas for videos and content to put up this week. So I'm really excited to see how this week goes. But otherwise, man, just honestly quite a lot of the same old same, just trying to get into a routine. How things have been going over on your side of the platform?
As far as my content goes, it is going pretty good. I'm in full sweat mode right now, I guess.
Okay.
So that means a lot of Apex, Call of Duty, even Paladins you sweat in, but not the way I sweat in Apex or Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's different sweat in Paladins. I can agree there.
When you're one of the best snipers in Paladins, it's not really sweating.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Well, it depends on the random. So sometimes random's gonna random. Am I right?
Right. But either way, you're still gonna do your thing most of the time. A majority of the time, whether your randoms are doing what they're supposed to do, you're still gonna end up being able to do your thing. To where I think in Apex or Call of Duty, you can just get into a lobby and absolutely get shit on no matter what. So I'm in full sweat mode right now as far as that goes. My chill days are DBD with you.
Right.
So that's my semi just chatting streams. But me and Moon have been kicking around an idea. For
I always worry about Moon ideas, so
a YouTube series.
Okay.
We're both into competitive Call of Duty. So me and Moon are actually talking about starting a series when the season starts, a weekly YouTube series.
Okay.
Handling all things competitive COD.
All right, I can dig that though. I mean, I do know that's kind of his forte though, so that's definitely something you want to do with him, not me.
a dual content thing, as far as we preview that week and then we recap that week.
I think that's cool. Do what? So, because usually the events, do they start on Friday, right?
They start on a Friday. So Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, we can do a leading up to.
Right.
And then come back Monday, Tuesday, and do the recap of it. I'm excited about that. It's something that I would love to do, and I hope it comes to fruition. So we got to make that happen.
Um, I would be interested. Just an idea to pitch to you guys. What would be your thoughts on? Because the finals are normally Sunday, right?
Yes,
And
always a championship Sunday.
And you stream Sundays normally.
Yes.
What would be your thoughts on doing like an initial reaction on Sunday, and you can live stream that and maybe try and push that in like the COD category and grow that?
See, I wonder. That's the one thing we were trying to figure out, and I have to get more information on that.
Yeah.
Is that something I can watch while streaming?
You won't be able to watch it, but what you guys can do is you can,
Can I have it in the background?
That's a good question as far as have it in the background.
You know what I mean? Can I have the audio in the background?
I mean, I would probably just play the audio low in the background.
Right, exactly. Right. But I could have it on like a third screen, watch it, and we can give live reactions.
I think
to
it's
it on
something
Sundays.
that because normally the like grand finale, is that what they call the grand champion or whatever the fuck they call it?
It's just called champs.
The champs match is usually a scheduled time, right? It's not like a running bracket.
No, there is brackets. So like Sunday gets kind of, because it's weird. They have set times, but if a team gets 3-0'd, then the next game's going to be a little sooner.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they sometimes do filler time, because I know some tournaments will do where if that happens, there's filler time. They'll have to do like extra recap and fill it, or if they just bump everything up.
As far as because of the pandemic, we're not sure how that's going to work, because if you give somebody a time to be online, right. If you give somebody time to be online and they're not there online before that, you can't really punish them for not being there if they're there on time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that
but
makes sense.
when it's LAN and in person, it doesn't matter, because mostly everybody's at the arena at a certain time.
Right,
because even if they're not
like
playing early,
or you're at like a
If they're not playing early, they're in the backstage area and they're scrimming other teams and stuff like that to get ready for their match.
Well, I know like back when I would do like some of the bigger lands back in like the Halo like 3 days, like you had to be there like you'd have to report your station early.
Yeah, exactly. So you go there, you scrim other teams that you're not playing that day.
Right.
So like you scrim somebody else who's in the tournament and get your guns warm. Yeah. It's better than just shooting bots, you know what I mean? You're actually going against pro players at that point, trying to warm up.
Right, even though you like neither side's really sweating, but it's enough to like you guys are both warming the thumbs and
well, you're going against somebody who's actually shooting straight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a bot's not going to turn and shoot at you, or a bot's not going to turn on you.
Right.
A bot's not going to shoot you in the head from across the map as other pros are going to do. So that's why it's better practice to scrim somebody.
That's fair. So when does the league start this year?
I don't think there's a definite start date as of yet.
Okay.
They did just bring out some maps and modes. So what maps are going to be played on what modes. And right now it's a limited pool because there's only like 8 maps in the game.
Right.
So I know that's something that pros are going to be a little upset about, but they're going to have to do what they have to do.
I mean, if you rotate modes though on a map and rotate those through, I mean, usually there's not more than 8 maps on the competitive side of it, is there?
No, but that's the thing. They want to have more of a pool. Right. So right now, like even the maps in the game for certain game modes, they're not even getting put into the map pool.
Gotcha. Okay.
So some of the modes only have like 5 maps to pull from, which is okay, but a little more diversity will be welcome.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Because you're going to have Call of Duty teams, like professional teams, that are better on some maps than they are on the others. And that really comes into the strategy of the map bans. So before the series starts, the team captains ban maps and everything like that.
Is that a back and forth deal where they ban a map at a play time, right?
Yeah, so there's 5. It's a best of 5. So the first team will ban whatever map for the hard point, and the other team gets to pick the search and destroy map, and then it goes back to the other team for the control.
Gotcha.
It goes back to the other team for the second hard point, and then the team gets to pick the last search and destroy map. So it goes back and forth.
So at this point, the new COD itself has been out, what, 3 weeks? Is that right? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? 2 weeks?
It came out November 13th.
Okay,
so 10 days.
Okay. So, what's your thoughts at this point? I know you've played quite a bit of it. Like how does like the balance of the guns? How's the movement around the map? Does it feel smooth? Do you feel like they're gonna have to change stuff?
I think the game feels smooth. This is an issue. The nerfing and buffing of things really irks me. Now, I know people want to see new metas as it comes to guns because forever it's been MP5 and whatever assault rifle, and that's pretty much all you see in competitive.
Right.
But they nerfed the MP5 into the ground after this first patch. They nerfed snipers into the ground, basically.
Did they take like away the quick scope feel, basically?
This is by far the slowest a sniper has ever ADS'd in a COD. And it's been nerfed twice already.
Worse than the first Black Ops?
Yep.
That first Black Ops was terrible.
I seen a chart the other day of all the ADS speeds and how many milliseconds it takes.
No.
And this is literally almost double the worst it's ever been.
Dude, that's crazy to think, because I remember going from, because like Halo died around MW2, so I kind of was forced to play COD if I wanted to play a shooter. And in MW2, the quickscope was all the business, and then in Black Ops, it was terribly slow. And you're saying it's way more slow than that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bro, I wouldn't even. You could throw that game away, in my opinion.
Dude, it's just like even me, like I'll snipe on it now, and it's still I could still get picks and everything like that. It's just, bro, just that 300 milliseconds that you're missing.
Yeah.
On the ADS just feels so slow.
Well, especially when it comes to, because this year they're doing PC with controller, right? Or they still doing console?
Correct. Nope, it's PC with controller.
That's a lot of time, man.
Yeah, so it's PC with controller for competitive. Approved controllers only, which we don't know what they are, but I'm guessing like Battle Beaver, Scuffs, stuff like that.
Battle Beavers.
The good thing is it gets rid of Chronoses. So from years past, the players didn't like plugging their controllers into PS4s.
Okay.
So they would use the USB device, Chronos, which made it, it gave less input lag.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it also gave problems. Chronoses would disconnect at events and stuff like that. People would have to get new ones. At least now you're plugging your controller directly into the PC.
Right.
And you won't have to worry about that.
Right. So you're saying they've buffed or they've nerfed both the sniper and they've nerfed the MP5 in the ground. So what's the current meta then?
I used the AK-47 today, and the thing melts and it doesn't move the way that an AK-47 usually does in a Call of Duty. So there's very little recoil. And it three shots most people in. It's just disgusting. Obviously in an up close fight, you're going to have a disadvantage, but still, if you can see them coming, you're going to pick them off.
Right.
So the AK-47, it seems like the sub is still up in the air. What submachine gun is going to be meta? I seen a couple of pros using the AK-47 today. I seen a few still using the MP5.
I mean, I wonder if for some of the pros it's just out of comfort of how it handles.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. You'll get people, and especially like ex-pros that were playing in this Twitch Rivals tournament that's going on right now. They're used to the MP5 from Modern Warfare. They're used to the MP5 from Warzone. So it handles similar in this game. It just doesn't do the damage that it did.
Right. TTK is slower.
Mm-hmm. So, but it's not just COD. Like, my biggest So like take Apex for example.
Okay, because they just dropped a new season here recently.
Right. So Apex had hitbox issues coming through the seasons. So two of their bigger characters, Gibraltar and Caustic, both had buffs. And what happened is they had, when you shoot them, you do less damage than you do to other people, which was needed.
Just because they had
But
such big
then they kept
hitboxes, or
buffing
what?
that. They kept buffing them. And Gibraltar has an arm shield. So when you shoot a Gibraltar, you have to do 75 damage through his arm shield before you start doing damage to him.
Interesting. Okay, I've never actually played. Well, it's been a while since I played Apex, so I'm learning here.
So my problem is, well, you gave him and Caustic the same buff, but Caustic doesn't have an arm shield. So Gibby basically got an extra buff with his arm shield and then getting the damage reduction.
Right.
In a game like that, you have alts, you have, his passive abilities, you have all of that. And his arm shield is the passive ability. So nerf his arm shield, buff his alt, and keep the damage reduction. Because if you buff an alt, people can still get away from the alt unless it's used perfectly. So it gives you that damage reduction for being a bigger character, and it kind of makes him like a Titan with his ultimate being like, yo, you better not be in his ultimate because it's going to kill you.
Right.
Which I'd be fine with. But when you make him that powerful to where I had a game the other day, I shot through his arm shield from the side. I shot through his arm shield. So his arm shield was getting ticks from me being directly beside him. He turned, I reloaded, got up, started shooting at him again. He had his arm shield again after I just destroyed it. And I was like, how is that? How are you ever going to win that fight? When you got to do 150 extra damage to him.
Yeah, that seems like a crazy. I'm surprised more people. I mean, that sounds like, especially in that game, where you can see fights change, like turn around really quick based off of clip capacity, because the reload time on it's kind of slow. It seems like in that game compared to other games. So a fight can change around quick. That's kind of crazy. You'd think you'd have more people complaining about that.
But that's the thing. You get people that complain, and then they buff it to the sky instead of just doing it a little at a time and nerfing stuff a little at a time. You get all these people who complain, and then something's nerfed into the ground or buffed to the sky, and it's just, there's no in between. Why can't we take baby steps?
Well, I think it's definitely usually more nerfing into the ground than being buffed in the sky. I feel like usually the needle is hard to push buffing wise, unless it's like
I agree.
a big overshoot. Usually it is getting nerfed into the ground though.
But you got, take something like Paladins. Take Strix. We both know that character. Strix was nerfed. For what? Every other character in the game has, something above a sniper. And you're nerfing a sniper because...
What'd they nerf on him?
They nerfed him a couple of times, but I think his base damage... I think they buffed Haven against him.
Oh, so you're talking about like it's just over time, because I know they've nerfed him over time. I thought you meant like in the most recent.
But it's just the fact that like you got 30 champions in Paladins. All of them can move faster than he can do more than he can. And you're worried about him because the little plebs can't get around the sniper.
So I think this is something that's actually very interesting. So I've had this conversation, whether it be in other people's chat or even in my chat in the past. I think it's a very interesting job that the devs have trying to listen to a community, especially when it comes to like obviously people like you and me who what's the best way of putting it, play video games more than the average bear, right? Or at least, and even if not like play more than the average bear, like the reason we do what we do because we're more I don't want to like sound like an asshole, but like we've been playing video games for a while, so like, we kind of get the hang of games quicker, right?
Mm-hmm.
These devs have to hear complaints from players like us who want to play at a high level and play competitively, as well as, Sally Joe, every third day gamer who picks it up and plays for like an hour and a half and then, doesn't play again for a week and a half until their friends play
they get
again.
destroyed by a Strix in the hour that they've been playing, and then they go and complain to the devs about Strix. Like,
well, not only that, but like now you're talking about a player who does have like he has like a very high skill ceiling, right? Like if you're really good with him, you can be disgusting with him.
mm-hmm.
It's not like a Vivian where you can pick her up and you just hold right trigger or you hold M1,
Right.
and throw up your shield every once in a while, and anyone can play her. Like if you've played enough, you've ran into your fair share of bad Strixes. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing. That's what I mean. And people are like, "Well, he takes." I'm like, no. There's characters who take little skill, and one is Vivian, and it's just There's other characters. Well, yes, you might get aim assist or whatever. You still have to hit your shots with Strix.
Oh, 100%. Well, and Strix,
Vivian
you only
has
get your aim assist on
75
controller.
bullets in her in her gun.
75, 70, 80, 70.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So too many for sure.
You literally, if you listen to Kresnik when he's calling it, and there's a Vivian in a pro match, which it doesn't happen often, but it happens a lot. He tells these professional players, just don't stop shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Even if there's nobody in front of you, just don't stop shooting. Because if somebody comes over there, you're just going to get the damage buff by hitting them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're already 3 straight bullets or whatever.
Well, because you're shooting consistently for 2 seconds. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, her base kit's always been disgusting. I also understand. So she's kind of like one of those high-res things where it's kind of meant to be a crutch for newer players to be able to kind of.
But she's not even available, is she? Without the Champions pack.
She's not?
I don't know.
I bought, so when I switched over, I bought the season pass. So you got all the 19 and 20 stuff.
Right.
So and that was like day one. So I don't know what like originally comes with the base game. Cause I know that's like the same thing with Victor. Like Victor's pretty, like obviously he's not as disgusting as Vivian, but if you know how to work him, since he's very, especially for people coming over from like first person shooters, CODs and the like.
Yeah. Like I started with Victor because I came over from a, COD background and stuff like that. And the people who got me into Paladin were like, yeah, play Victor.
Yeah.
I'll still play Victor every once in a while, but like, I'd rather play all the other champions.
Yeah, I think Victor's one of those that like I only started playing a lot of because I was doing the ranked grind with Jay on EU.
Yeah, and I think in ranked, if it's not a sniper map, something like a Victor is needed because Vivian's going to be banned most of the time. And then you ban the flanks that are a pain in the ass.
Well, especially because flanks are very much the meta in Paladins too, which is weird. I guess that kind of goes back to the whole like buffing and nerfing of things. Because for a while, like the meta was very different. Then all of a sudden, like flanks were very, very much the meta in Paladins. I guess that would have been 3 patches ago.
That's my main complaint when you nerf somebody like a Strix. You get flanked by a Koga, by whoever. You still have to hit 2 shots with Strix.
Even if it's a headshot.
Even if you hit the headshot, you still got to hit another shot.
Yeah. And the time on that compared to like a double burst from a Victor hitting headshots.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know they nerfed Victor in this last patch. They nerfed his burst mode damage a little bit.
Probably necessary.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't complain about that.
That's a weird one though, because that's one of those that's like really more of a nerf for top tier gameplay, which normally you see most companies kind of more buffing and nerfing based off of the, like the middle 40%.
Well, that's the thing. And I mean, this is little. I mean, it's on topic, but it's off topic. What is your thoughts on skill-based matchmaking?
So
So let me rephrase it. What's your thoughts on skill-based matchmaking in games that have ranked modes?
Yeah, see, so I think that's a very interesting question. So if there's a ranked, then why have skill-based matchmaking in social? Like that's supposed to be the whole point of social, is it's very random. I mean, even back to the, like, for me, when I think of back in the day competitive shooter, you know, I think Halo 2, Halo 3, that's the whole thing with social, right? You might run into a team of 550s on the other team and you have nobody above a level 25 in rank. That's just the randomness of, you know, socials, you know what I mean?
Right, but I think it helps you get better when you run into a team like that.
I
You
would
know what I
agree
mean?
so. I would agree so. I
My
think
thing is this: I don't want to be on full sweat mode every game I go into, but you are forcing me to be
Mhm.
with skill-based matchmaking.
Yep. I mean, that's basically what I mean. That mixed with a few things, but inevitably, that was kind of what pushed me away from Paladins. You know, I played so much for so long that my, you know, MMR was so high just because I had
Right,
so many hours in the game
right.
that naturally, you know, if they're going to try and balance out the teams, you know, not to try and sound rude, but I'm going to have the scrub cakes more on my team because if we're in a lobby, there's a good chance that I have, you know, the top hours or one of the top hours just because of how much I was playing there for a while, you know?
Right. And that's that's my problem with it. You have a ranked mode,
Mm-hmm.
and Call of Duty's going to have a ranked in it at some point. They should release it with a ranked mode because honestly, the pros don't want to. They'd rather grind in a ranked mode, and if you want to try and get your name out there and you're an aspiring pro, you can go into ranked and play against the pros and all that, just as long as your elo matches up.
Right. Now, here is one thing that I will say. I understand from a gaming company's point, you know, again, they're pushing more towards the casual player. And the casual player isn't worried about MMR so much.
But is the casual player going to be the one playing your game the full year? So Call of Duty, you have a year lifespan because the next one comes out.
Right, every November, correct.
Are the casual ones going to be the ones staying there from November to November? Or is it going to be the ones like me and like your professionals who are staying there?
I think you're going to have a mixture of both. I definitely see where you're coming from. But if you think about percentage wise, like obviously your professional gamers are very much like that top like 0.02%. Like they're playing 14, 16 hours a day heading into an event sort of deal, right? Then you have your content creators who are playing anywhere from 4, 6, 8 hours a day. And then you have some heavy gamers who play it that much. But even your heavy gamers in I guess 2020 might be different because of the whole COVID situation. But on normal, like that's where you're talking about normally games project for that middle 40%, which means that top 10% of that middle 40 is going to be like the lower bit of your grinders, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It sucks as a person who plays a lot of video games. You know, and obviously we both fall into that category.
Yeah, it's just.
But it is a business, unfortunately. You know. I do think that if you cater more to your avid gamers and avid fans, you can probably draw more money out from in-game purchases. But I'm sure that they have done some study out there, and that's why they balance it the way they do. You know.
Oh, I'm sure there's some kind of nerd sitting in a room pushing numbers saying, hey, this is the way to go.
Right.
I mean, it just so happens that, in my opinion, that nerd's probably one of the ones getting shit on, so he wants skill-based matchmaking. Just saying.
I mean, I think, you know, we also have to remember, especially when it comes to video games, there's a large population of kids playing. And
but they shouldn't be playing 17 plus games.
Did you play 17 plus games when you weren't 17? Like, let's be fair.
But that's the thing. If I was going to play, I understood I had no say.
Right.
So they can't even be, those kids shouldn't be involved in any decisions that have to do with the game. If your parents want to buy you the game and you're under 17, fine. You want to play the game? Fine. But you're going to deal with the toxicity that's in the lobbies, and you're going to deal with the fact that you're going to get shit on most of the time.
I don't think the kids so much have a problem with getting shit on, but I'm sure that there's some guy out there that has figured out that if, little Timmy Two Thumbs, who sits over here and plays every once in a while, and, a little 13-year-old, if he gets shit on so hard this year that he's not going to ask mommy and daddy to buy him the next Call of Duty game. So I'm sure that I'm sure there's some weird, there's some number cruncher somewhere who knows these balances, and that's why they do it the way they do it. It's just these are the things that they take into account, unfortunately. Again, which really sucks for the avid gamers like us who are spending money, usually more so than your average bear, like as far as supporting, whether it be a studio or something like that.
I agree.
So I don't want to talk too much about this because I know last episode was very much sports of the games, sports and all of the smoke. But obviously things are very weird right now with COVID 2020, COVID-19. Which, by the way, have you seen the new Kevin Hart special on Netflix where he calls it the Vid-19?
The Vid. Yeah, I seen it.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
That's another thing we could get into. Because I read all the Instagram comments and bro, some of these people, you fell off. You did that. Bro, he's making money hand over fist. I don't think he gives a fuck what you say.
I don't think he's worried about it. He ain't worried about it.
Hence the reason his special is named Zero Fucks Given.
Yeah. So I didn't want to talk too much as far as NBA free agency. But there is something that I've been wanting to post because I post about it a lot and I've been holding back, but we've got to have a conversation.
Okay.
All heart to heart, if you will. Just one of those very fair.
My heart to your heart.
A very fair and honest conversation, mostly because I'm a little confused and concerned. Okay. Because I watch, first off, anybody who knows me, like I watch a lot of sports. Obviously, that's why it's part of the podcast. But basketball is like my shit. I've lived, eat, sleep. Like I love basketball. So I watch, even when it comes to free agency and things every year. But one thing that drives me nuts is, remember a couple of years ago when the Golden State Warriors went 73-9 and then they lost to the Cavaliers? Right. And then they went out and then they got an all-star and everybody in NBA world lost their freaking minds as if it were such a big deal. And, I get it. KD was a big, he was, probably top 5 in the league at the time going into the fact that he was signing up to play with the 73-9 team. Regardless, they freaked out. One addition. 2 years later, after they had won their second ring, they signed Boogie, who was hurt. He had just come off an Achilles injury, a hurt all-star. And they're like, oh my God, it's the Monstars. No one's ever gonna beat Golden State. But now, after the Lakers just pretty well thumped their way through the playoffs this year, I don't think any team took them, past game 6?
No.
Did anyone take them to a game 6?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and no one took them past game 5. They're out here, they're getting 6th man of the year, they're getting all-stars, and no one's saying a fucking thing, and it drives me nuts because you know what? It's LeBron James, and God forbid we say anything negative about LeBron James in 2020 just means you're a hater. I can't stand it, man.
You can't say anything negative unless you're a hater. If you say anything negative,
why is he yelling?
Anything that has to do with LeBron and negativity, you're a hater. It's not you're being, critical or anything like that. You're a hater. That's just the bottom line. And it's wrong because LeBron has been doing this since Miami.
Heading into Miami. Yes.
So he joined 2 All-Stars in Miami. Okay.
Also, two other top 5 scorers from the year prior. So they had 3 of the top 5 scorers from the league the year prior, Miami. But yes, go ahead, continue. Right. Sorry, I'll sip my tea.
So they lost to Dallas and San Antonio?
Yeah, Dallas, then they won 2, and then they lost San Antonio, right?
Right. And the one they won was because Ray Allen hit a miraculous 3-pointer to...
They won 2 down there. One of them, though, was because of that, correct?
Right.
Then the other year was because Ray Allen, because Kyrie.
Right. So the year they beat the Warriors 73-9, the Cleveland Cavaliers, wasn't because of LeBron. It was because Kyrie hit a shot.
Bring a ring to the land, baby.
Yeah. So, I don't disrespect LeBron's talent. I don't disrespect that he's been to as many finals as he's been to. But he needs help. He needs help to do it.
And it's fair because of where he's at in his age, but bro, if LeBron,
he's been doing it his whole career though.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
You know what I mean? He was in the terrible Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference, when he was in Cleveland the first time, was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
Was horrible. The entire, from top to bottom.
And he still couldn't make the playoffs the first 3 years.
Yeah, but after he started making the playoffs, he even took them to the finals.
Yeah.
But he lost.
Yeah.
And then he went to Miami and joined.
Or they're going to ring, not win, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And they got 2.
Yeah. And after they won the 1, they signed All-Star Rashad Lewis. No one cared then.
So now you're talking about the Lakers and LeBron. Okay, he's an older guy, but probably has the best big man in the league.
Oh, AD, I would say
AD's a top 5 player.
I would say AD is your best big, and I think the debate's at 2 when it comes to bigs.
Right.
Yeah, I would say AD. I mean, AD should have been the MVP last year.
I agree.
Like, everyone thought that, like, LeBron was robbed, but, like, legit, AD was robbed.
I agree.
Yeah.
So now you take LeBron, you take AD, you have Kyle Kuzma. You have a good team around them. Okay. You go and get 6th man of the year, Montrezl Harrell.
He's a dog, man. I've loved him since Louisville.
It's a great pickup for them.
Yeah,
great pickup for them. And you also got runner-up 6th man of the year, Dennis Schroeder. So you added 2 pieces,
and Matthews is no slub.
All-stars.
Yeah,
who can be all-stars. Kyle Kuzma was playing his ass off before LeBron got there. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's still learning his role. He's still learning what he has to do. But it's always more help that LeBron needs.
Right. Well, at least when he's losing, he always needs more help, right?
Well, they won last year and he still needs more help.
Well, yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like, it's never a run it back type situation for him. And somebody like Dame Lillard gets so much more respect from me just because he says, you know what? I'm going to stay here.
Dame's another dog in the league, man. I love watching
I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and help build the people who gave me my shot. You know what I mean? Like, Portland made me who I am.
Oh, see, but you know, the LeBron stans, who I can unfortunately no longer call the 3-6 Mafia, you know, they will argue that he did that by going back to the land and winning them a ring, though, Oogie.
But he doesn't get the ring without Kyrie.
I mean, I am with you. But also Kyrie was already there, you know, again.
And Kyrie, and just don't get me wrong, because I think Kyrie is one of the most overrated players in the league. But Kyrie doesn't get a ring without LeBron. Let's not be, you know, let's not put it all on LeBron. But if Kyrie doesn't hit that shot, they lose. Doesn't matter what LeBron does, they lose. And he had some gaudy stats in that series. But if Kyrie doesn't hit that shot, they lose.
Yeah. And it just falls to another, you know.
And all those stats mean what?
Nada.
I mean, AI lost, but he scored 51.
He led the league in scoring 4 times. Shit. What good did it do him?
Because, you know.
I don't know. I always hate to, like, well, I shouldn't say anybody who knows me knows that I don't hate to seem like a hater towards LeBron. But I am a realist. Because again, I will be more than happy to admit that he is this generation's great. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that's the problem where a lot of people are like, well, he gets so much hate. It's like, well, there's so much hate. It's just people are very quick to. I think anyone's going to be very quick to like defend their own. You know, so for their own GOAT or their own favorite or what I mean. So, and it was even like that. Back in the Jordan day. Although obviously I was very much younger when Jordan.
Yeah,
was in
we
his
were younger
prime.
when Jordan was.
But it was the same thing when it was like Jordan compared to Magic or well, it's like it was a different era, and I would even say the same thing like now. The eras are very different and they're different players. But if I think if we're talking about a best overall career, I don't know if that's the same thing as the GOAT to me. I think the GOAT is who had the best peak or who had the best worth as a peak. So the highest peak for the longest time. And I don't know if I can say that that's LeBron. You know what I mean?
And it's funny how some LeBron fans use Jordan stepping away from basketball to play baseball. The man stepped away because
he was fucking bored. Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying.
He was bored. It was too easy.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to try and be a professional at another sport.
And did it. Well, technically did it, but
I mean, he sucked at baseball.
I mean, he wasn't like Deion Sanders when we're talking about two sport
Came
athletes,
back and won 3 more.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. And realistically, had that team not been blown up, they probably could have won 1 or 2 more. I'm not going to sit here and say that they would have, won another 3 straight, but I think they had at least 1 more, if not 2 in them. I mean, you saw in the years after, I mean, Scotty's legs weren't the same.
Right.
But I think if you keep that team together, I think they have at least 1 more championship, if not 2 championship runs.
I would agree. See, I don't want people to get it twisted. I respect LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something that I respect about him. This guy has had eyes on him since he was 16 years old.
Yeah.
He's had the pressure of being the next Jordan since he was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
All the way through the league. Man's never been in trouble. He's never caused issues.
The closest thing that boy got to being in trouble was when he almost got caught smoking that blunt at the Indians game a couple years ago in the World Series.
But that's what I mean. Like
that is it. But that's it.
I'm good, Rick. How are you?
That's the closest he's gotten to getting in trouble.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
LeBron has been a model athlete. And he's done a lot of good in this world.
Mm-hmm. Outside the court.
Off the court, yes. Besides what he does on the court, he's done a lot off the court. And I respect the hell out of him. He's just not my GOAT.
Yeah.
That's just it. Is he the second best player I ever seen? Probably. But the best player I ever seen, pound for pound, is Allen Iverson. That's my opinion.
Right.
But if we're talking about overall best player, it's Jordan, followed by LeBron. For me, I put him above Kobe, and I'm from Philly, and it is what it is. It hurts, but I put him above Kobe. He doesn't have. Oh, he's not forgotten by me, Rick, because I'm from Philly. So Iverson's never forgotten in Philly.
Facts, but I would very much agree with the sentiment of what he said, though. I think he was.
But he's underrated because people don't like him.
Him, not the basketball player.
They don't like him.
Very much so.
So the reason that they don't like him
is because
makes them talk about him on the court.
Yep. Because of, the shit from before the league and because of, how he dressed and how he talked, but it had nothing to do with the court.
Rick, you talk to his peers and you tell me if he's underrated.
Mm-hmm.
When you got Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant center ever, saying that dude is the best player I ever played against. That's all Allen Iverson needs. He doesn't need Jason Whitlock to say he's fucking good. His peers understand who Allen Iverson was. Yeah. Allen Iverson wasn't 6 foot. He was 160 pounds, and he dominated that court. There's nothing anybody can say.
Yeah. He was disgusting.
So while fans, may not like him, and let's just remember he changed the entire culture of the NBA.
100%.
So as much as he did on the court, he also changed the culture of the NBA for good, not for worse, for good. And all his off the court antics and the trouble he got into, that's just AI.
I mean, it's just a human.
Well, no, it's just, it's a human coming from bad, Newport News, Virginia.
Well, right.
Where,
And so like the stuff from before the league with the fight at the bowling alley and all that, I don't think we have enough time to open up that discussion.
no, we don't, but rest in
between
peace, Coach Thompson, who saved his life,
Yep.
who gave him an opportunity, and he took it and ran with it. He still got in trouble, but he took it and ran with it. And he became the most dominant small person ever in the NBA.
Did you ever end up seeing that picture I sent you on Discord, or I tagged you in on Discord? I'll send it
Which
to
one?
you. With all the Iverson jerseys when I was unpacking them.
Yes, I've seen them.
The red, white, and blue. And then I told you I found the one from Detroit too.
Yeah, I had his high school jersey, I had his Georgetown jersey, and then I had every fucking Sixers jersey that you can imagine.
One that I always wanted but never got was the alternate black. I love the alternate black.
And I had every pair of Iversons there was. I had Georgetown blues. I had the questions. I had the answers. I had all of them. I still have a pair of the answers.
I low-key want to cop those new Harden Iverson.
Bro, I literally said that to my wife. I was like, I'm getting them.
Yeah, I might have to. I'm not a big
Harden,
sneakerhead, but I might.
Made it to Philly, I was definitely getting them.
Yeah. I think he ends up in Brooklyn. I would love to see him in Philly. But
I don't think he ends up in Brooklyn either.
You know what I'm excited for though? I claimed him as a underdog for someone to watch out for in the draft last episode. And he's coming to DC. So I'm gonna have to try and catch me a game or two next year. Well, maybe not next year. We'll see. We'll see how the vid-19 is going.
I'm quietly happy with what the Sixers did.
But we got ourselves Cassius Winston out here. My boy Cassius coming out to DC.
Cassius.
I'm excited.
Coming out of the Lou, right?
He's out of the Lou. He's a Michigan cat, but I've been a MSU guy. My dad was born in Michigan, so I've been an MSU kid. I wanted to play for Izzo, so I have been a Michigan State guy for some time.
That guy, man, that guy can coach his ass off.
Yeah.
But as far as the Sixers go, they pick up Seth Curry. They pick up.
Oh, I did see
Danny
that.
Green.
Yeah, they got some good pickups.
They pick up Dwight Howard to back up Joel. You got rid of Al Horford's horrible contract.
What they end up doing with that contract?
Al Horford got traded in Danny Green deal.
Okay.
Yeah, so we took on Danny Green, who's an expiring contract, which is always worth something in the NBA. So even if we start with Danny Green on our team, come trade deadline, he's gone. If we can get something at the trade deadline to improve our team, that expiring contract is worth so much to certain teams.
Yep.
And that's a big pickup. But not just that. We picked Tyrese Maxey from Kentucky.
Okay.
And the first thing that came out of John Calipari's mouth, everybody who passed on this kid is going to regret it. So that makes me excited. That makes me excited because usually when coaches come out and say that, and not the player didn't come out and say it, but his coach said it. Like the players remained humble. He thanked us for giving him the opportunity. He's ready to work. But I can't wait to see what this kid can do. And the good thing is we got rid of Josh Richardson too, which I like Josh Richardson.
Yeah, I got rid of Zaire Smith too.
I ain't worried about that. That kid, it's a shame what happened as far as his health goes because he almost died.
Right.
By eating fucking Chinese food. But I just don't think he ever got his shot here. And I think it's kind of like a Markelle Fultz type thing. If he does anything over there, cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't think he'll ever be something that we miss. So I like the way it's rounding out, even if we're keeping Ben Simmons, because you're surrounding him and Joel with shooting, and that's what you need.
Right. So hopefully that means that Ben stops shooting would be kind of nice.
Well, no, I mean, he hasn't shot yet in his career.
I mean, he'll
But
pull up, right? But he just doesn't hit him.
No, he doesn't pull up. That's the
Oh.
biggest complaint in Philly about him is you pick and roll. You can drive by anybody at 6'10" and get to the bucket.
Right.
He doesn't do that enough. But you could also just pull back at the elbow and shoot that shot, and you're open every time, but you refuse to do it. I don't care if he makes a 3 in his career. I want him to shoot that elbow jumper.
Right. Well, I mean, let's be honest, and unfortunately in the league today, that elbow jumper is not valued very high. So
yeah, but let the other people shoot threes. That's why you got Seth Curry. That's why you got Tobias Harris.
Agreed.
My biggest thing is Doc Rivers. You're going to see somebody in Doc Rivers who's going to tell Joel Embiid, your spot is in the paint. I need you to be on the block. We're going to get you the ball. We're going to play inside out. We're going to play pick and roll through you. Stop fucking going out to the 3-point line and thinking you're a guard that's going to hit threes.
Well, and I think that's where the Howard pickup's good because now you can kind of see it in action. Because I mean, Howard's always been a bang on the block,
But that's the thing. Joel's got so much game when it comes down to his post moves.
Mm-hmm.
His footwork is incredible. Just do it. Brett Brown didn't force him to be down there enough.
Right.
And I think it was because of the lack of shooting and everything like that you're like, okay, well, Joel can hit a couple of threes here and there. It's going to help us. I'd rather it be very rare that Joel hits a 3-pointer and him just dominate down inside. Because the bottom line is if he's inside and even if he don't get the ball, he might end up getting 4 more rebounds a game. But when you're shooting a 3, who's down there to rebound the ball?
True. Although traditionally speaking, your 3 rebounds are usually longer rebounds anyways, right?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Just period. Just be down there.
Yeah.
You're 7'2". Like, just be down there. That's why I want him to be in the block. That's where he belongs.
Do you think that's something that you'll? I mean, I feel like he did better that this year than the years prior, though, right?
Yeah, but I also think sometimes he goes down there because he's lazy and out of shape.
I mean, you ain't wrong there.
So I hope that Doc is able to get him to work on his conditioning and get Ben to work on the rest of his game. And we'll see where it goes.
I would imagine, and I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I think probably part of Embiid's issue conditioning wise, I bet you it's not really his running conditioning that's the problem. I bet you his problem in today's, the player agreement, they're not practicing as much. They're not banging bodies in practice as much. And that's, I think, especially for what you're wanting, the style of basketball you're wanting him to play is the important reps that you need. Is moving up and down the court while you're getting, your body knocked around.
Right, I hear you. I want him to be in shape, period. Because he seems way too lazy at times. You need to be dominant.
Well, if
you're not dominating in the offense end, I don't want to see a guard get an easy layup against you ever again.
They better be.
I don't care who it is.
They better be across the paint.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I need to see you jumping at every shot that a guard comes in to the paint and tries to throw up. And there's too many times where he's just looking at them, banking it off the backboard. And it's like, what are you doing? Are you that out of shape that you can't jump right there? Because even if you don't get the block, you're still putting your hand in their fucking vision.
Right.
And just watching every Sixers game, it infuriates me sometimes. his laziness, Ben's lack of shooting or lack of trying to shoot, when I think they both can be dominant. It's frustrating.
Because the process should be just about completed by now.
Yeah, it should be. Like, honestly, there shouldn't be a team in the East. If they did what they were supposed to do, there shouldn't be a team in the East that can compete with them.
I think you guys losing Redick was kind of a big hurt going into this year.
I think so too. And the biggest thing that they did, the ownership came to Elton Brand and said, listen, we're not going to fire you or do it, but we're going to bring in somebody who's an actual general manager. And they brought Daryl Morey in. And then they got rid of Brett Brown and they brought a head coach who's been doing this a long time, who's very respected in. And now you got that leadership in place.
So do you think
and the
Doc's
first thing Morey did was get shooters?
You think Doc's the answer?
I think Doc's going to help. I think Doc's going to help in the fact that they're getting shooting. Like Seth Curry is a good shooter.
Yeah.
He's not Steph, but he's a good shooter.
I don't know. I'll be interested to see because I think the East is going to be very interesting to see this coming year.
I think Miami falls off.
Think so?
100%. I love Jimmy Butler.
You think they were just a bubble story?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's why you've seen Phoenix make the move that they did. Because somebody in Phoenix could have just been like, yo, listen, we were 8-0 in the bubble. We don't really have to do much.
Right.
No. They understood the bubble was different. You know what I mean? The bubble was different. The talent was going to rise. But it's also people not wanting to be there. People thinking about going to see their families. You know, you seen Lou Williams trying to go to strip clubs in Atlanta and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're just not used to that type of thing. And some of them didn't want to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of them didn't even go to the bubble. But I think you see Miami come back. I think they're going to be a good team still. But I think you see them come down to earth a little bit. Milwaukee, I like the moves Milwaukee made.
I saw this meme, and I have to do some research to see if it's true, but I saw that it said that in the course of this last week that Zion went from the youngest to the most tenured.
He is the
Orleans
most tenured Pelican there is.
That's fucking funny.
But I like what they're doing too.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing too.
Yeah, they're making some
You know
moves.
what I mean? Like they're trying to build around Zion, which is what they should do when you have a number one pick.
He's another one I would like to see come back next year in good shape, and hopefully the extra time off done good.
100%. He needs to drop 20 pounds. I think Zion needs to drop 20 pounds.
Yeah, I think he's still at a good weight at 20 pounds. I just don't know. Man, he's at that age, though, where he's starting to thicken out. And I think that's the scary thing. I don't know if you need him to lose weight at this point. Bro, I just need you to not put on any more fucking weight because...
You need to lean your muscle out is what you need to do.
Because what is he, 20? He's 20,
yeah,
21?
20 years old?
Yeah.
21? Like, you need to lean your muscle out, though.
Don't
20
go
and
to
a half. Bulk. Like, build your lean muscles.
Right.
Do Pilates. Do that kind of shit to lean
Yeah, he does not need
out.
to be doing he does not need to be doing any, like, Olympic.
And,
yeah, you don't need to do powerlifting right now as him.
I don't need you lifting and taking protein and all this shit. Like, lean your muscles out.
Yeah.
Because even if you're thicker, you leaning your muscles out is going to drop weight.
Because he doesn't need it for conditioning. He needs it for them fucking knees, 100%.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because, man, when he takes off, it's something different. I can't remember who I was listening to this week. And they're like, oh, I've been watching this kid since he was 18. I was like, bro, I've been watching this kid since he was, like, going into his junior year.
Mm-hmm.
He's something different, man.
Oh, he is. That leaping ability is not seen.
And he is not a great shooter. However,
yeah, but he shoots.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. What he showed this year is if you leave him open, he is at least confident enough that he will hit some shots that he is going to pull them.
That's the biggest thing.
Then
He's confident enough to
right.
take the shot.
And I think, and I was going to literally
I need
say,
Ben
I think
Simmons
that's
to be confident enough to
yeah,
take the shot.
I was literally going to say, I think that's your, like literally where your frustration with Ben is, because you don't need Ben to hit them at a good clip. I don't care
if he goes over 10. Just take the shot.
I just need the person that's guarding him to feel like that he has to be out there on him when he's more than 18 feet away.
They
from the
have
rim.
to respect it.
Right.
You've seen it a couple years ago in the playoffs. Like nobody was on him. Mm-hmm. Nobody was in with 8 feet of him, and he wouldn't shoot. And then he goes to drive, and he gets up in the air, and then he's stuck up in the air trying to make a pass. I hate it. I can't stand it. 1, don't pick up your dribble, and 2, shoot the fucking ball. It's just it. I don't care if you make it or miss it, just shoot.
And who did I see the Bucks pick up?
Well, the Bucks got...
I was kind of surprised in, because it made it seem like they might be making a push to try and keep Antetokounmpo. Now I can't remember.
Yeah, they did a couple of moves.
Let me see if I can.
They picked up Drew Holiday.
That was one that I really liked. Yep. Maybe that was the only one I was
they're doing this trade to try and get him to stay. So they got Drew Holiday and a 2nd round pick. They gave up George Hill.
And then you unloaded Wesley's who'd they get in the Matthews trade? They got somebody decent, didn't they? Or was Matthews signing for the Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so you got Chris Middleton there still, right? You got Antetokounmpo. They were trying to get Bogdanovich.
Where did he end up signing, though? I think I just recently saw he signed, though, right?
Yeah, but he kind of, it was supposed to be a sign and trade, but you got DJ Augustine who came in. Bobby Portis.
Never heard of him.
Bobby Portis has been languishing down in Chicago, but he's had like a couple of 40-point games against the Sixers.
Bro, Kyle Korver's still in the fucking league?
Yeah.
Bro, he's fucking old as shit.
So, I mean, Wes Matthews left. But like...
Didn't Lopez sign somewhere?
Overall, they're very... Yeah, he went to the Wizards.
Yeah, that's right.
But they're saying that Giannis and Portis will see some time at the 5 when they're playing small.
I mean, in today's league, I don't know why you wouldn't run Giannis at the 5, honestly.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, that's what I would do. But is Drew enough to...
I mean, they still have a year, right?
Yeah, well, they have to decide by the end of this year.
Yeah.
So trade deadline comes and he hasn't signed. They might try and trade Antetokounmpo because...
Nah, they'll be in contention.
Are you going to let him go? Yeah, but are you going to let him go for nothing?
I mean, if you let him go, are you going to get enough to like legitimately be in contention though?
Oh, I think you get enough. It's never equal value when you're giving away a superstar. But I think you get enough back.
Because if Milwaukee's in, let's just say in contention in the top half of the East, like nobody is going to give them more than Giannis worth to make a push through the playoffs, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the only way you're getting worth for Giannis is if you're sitting on the outside looking in of the playoffs. And you're getting a plethora of items that you can then move around.
Right.
But I don't see Milwaukee being even in the bottom half of the 8 teams going in, let alone being on the outside looking in next year.
Right. No, I don't think they will be. But
because the East,
like I said,
fucking
when
blows.
you're looking at a person like Giannis, are you going to let him go for nothing?
Bro, the Magic made the playoffs last year, going 33-40.
Oh, I know.
And the Nets made it, going 35-37. I don't know what to do with that.
Good football game going on right now. Tied up at the 2-minute warning right before half. Tampa Bay and the Rams.
Bro, can we talk about the Browns?
What about them?
They had a pretty good game last night. Yesterday.
The Browns suck. It's just that the Eagles suck more.
I mean, I can't talk. We lost to the fucking Cowboys, so.
Pittsburgh's not beating Kansas City. Sorry.
Yo, that game last night, though. Kansas City and Vegas.
Oh, that was a great game. But they, Pittsburgh's kind of the same story, right? It was Tom Brady for so long that you couldn't get past, and it just moved to Patrick Mahomes. I feel bad for Pittsburgh fans.
Yeah, I think the problem is that the road in the AFC does go through Kansas City. However,
no, I mean Pittsburgh's the number 1 seed.
I was gonna say
still
right now the game would be in
Pittsburgh. I still don't see them beating Kansas City.
I mean, I do think right now. I think I do think Vegas has given them their best run as far as that offense or the offense versus defense matchup, which is weird because I don't think Vegas is going to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
No. I think Vegas has a good team.
Yeah.
I think they have. I think John Gruden is still one of the best offensive minds there is as far as play calling goes. Does Pittsburgh have more talent on offense? Yes. Is Ben better than Carr at this point in his career? I don't know, but I'll say yes.
I would say that he's better, but it's not marginally. You know what I mean?
Right. It's not like he's a ton better, and I think Carr has a stronger arm at this point and stuff like that. But Pittsburgh's defense is going to have to carry them, which isn't nothing new. You know, Pittsburgh's defense has always had to be the one.
When your defense has to carry you past Mahomes, though, that's where you have the issue.
That's the problem,
right? Yeah,
you know what I mean, like. And Pittsburgh, as good as they are, they don't have John Gruden calling their plays.
Well, Tomlin's always kind of been more of a defensive guy anyway.
He is a defensive guy. That's what I mean. Like, that's why their defense is always stronger.
Right.
You're always going to take on the personality of your head coach.
100%.
You know what I mean? And there's been games that Ben, like, I only know from fantasy football, but he had like 9 fantasy points in one game. They won that game, but it wasn't because of Ben Roethlisberger. It was because of their defense. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, you're getting excited. They're 10-0. They beat a couple of teams, but as someone who watched,
they also have the benefit of a loser's schedule. To be fair,
well, as someone who watched the Eagles almost beat the Steelers, and the Eagles are a shit show. And honestly, if our coach was any good, we win that game. I don't think the Steelers are as good as 10-0 sounds. They are 10-0. That's the thing. They beat Jacksonville with their backup quarterback. So we'll see.
I mean, they'll be in the division series round.
Oh, they're definitely going to, you know.
Yeah.
They're making the playoffs, and if they're the 1 seed, they get a bye. They just can't lose because I don't think Kansas City loses from here out.
Right.
I mean, Kansas City has a tough game this week coming up. They have Tampa coming up. So Tampa has one less day to prepare than Kansas City does.
If you had to pick a Super Bowl matchup right now at, I guess, what are we, 10 weeks, 11 weeks in? We're 11 weeks, everyone's got 10 games. No, we're 10 weeks in. No, we're 11 weeks in. Everyone's got 10 games, right?
Pretty much,
because everyone's had a week off.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, If you had to pick a Super Bowl, who's going?
I'm picking Kansas City.
And please, for the love of God, don't tell me that a team from the NFC is going to the fucking Super Bowl.
What, you mean the NFC East?
Yeah.
No. It doesn't matter who wins this division. They ain't going to the fucking Super Bowl. Kansas City in the AFC. NFC, I'm going to go with Seattle.
Seattle, huh?
Their defense
They're
is
looking
bad,
good this
but
year. They're looking
their
decent.
defense is horrible, but Russell Wilson is
No,
just
the Vikings
disgusting.
might make the wild card just to make sure that they're not in contention to draft any good quarterbacks this year.
I'm not worried about the Vikings.
Yeah.
The only other team in the NFC is Green Bay. I don't think anybody
you're
else can
writing
make
off
it.
Tampa Bay that are easy.
I don't. Listen, as much I've seen too much from Tom Brady to show me that.
I don't think we've seen Tampa at its best form yet, personally.
Well, it's because Tom can't be at his best form every week.
Agreed, but I also think because of the lack of preseason and everything, and then them acquiring more and more new talent, I don't think we've seen Tampa at.
Hey, listen, I mean, it's all good. They got they supposedly have a good defense, right? But like, it's 14-14 right now with the Rams, who have a good offense, but like Antonio Brown's their leading receiver right now. He's got 6 catches for 38 yards. See, that's the only problem with me and Tampa is Tampa has big play talent, but Tom can't take advantage of it.
I mean, I don't think they've had the. I guess that's where I'm coming from as far as we haven't seen them in their best form. I don't think they've had the time to really put together.
It's just, I mean, he's thrown 16 passes for 100. He's thrown 24 passes, 16 to 24 for 120 yards. Is that like how many are down the field? Because
I mean, that's always kind of. I mean, he's always kind of been a check down guy, though. To be fair,
that's what I mean, though. Is the check down going to be able to work against someone like Russell Wilson, who can score in 3 plays, who can just throw the ball up to DK Metcalf? And Russell Wilson throws the best deep ball in the history of the NFL. It's just unbelievable. I wish he was my quarterback.
I mean, every team passed up on him twice. A lot of teams passed up on him 3 times.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Well, all right. Well, we are a little over an hour here, sir. So, let's go ahead and wind this thing down like normal. Why don't you let everyone know where they can find you, when they can find you, how they can find you?
Yes, sir.
All that good
live
stuff.
Most days during the week. I usually take Saturdays off, but sometimes I don't. So I'm live on Twitch, twitch.tv, Oogie Boogie Gaming.
That link will be down in the description below.
6 days out of the week. Link will be in the description. I appreciate that. On Sundays, we do an NFL stream right now during the NFL season. We go through, we break down the games. So Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern with the Beast Coast Gaming family. And we go through fantasy and all that good stuff. And then on YouTube, our YouTube does not have its own link yet, but if you search Oogie Boogie Gaming, you will see it. So it's Oogie Boogie Gaming on YouTube. Look out for that COD series that should be coming in the near future. And we're going to be adding more content to YouTube here shortly.
Bet. Anything else you got for us?
No. That's it.
Cool. Well, over on our channel, we're going to be throwing in some more WoW during the mornings, I think. Now Shadowlands drops, kind of a fun game. I started to get my grind on, but we're live mornings, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting at about 8 o'clock. Then we're live in the evening, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday mornings as well. We have some fun, usually with Skirny, our good old friend Skir Nichols.
Scarnicles.
You can find me in pretty much anywhere you can think of. So, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, just at Yo Boy Q. Of course, y'all are watching this on the YouTube itself. If y'all enjoyed the content, if y'all have made it this far, if y'all could do me a huge favor, leave a comment below, hit that like button, help us out with that algorithm, help us get our content in front of more people. If you enjoyed it, if you could also do me a favor, share it on your social medias. You never know who might like it, who might share it with their friends, and so on and so forth. I know both myself and Sir Oogie Boogie over here would greatly appreciate it. Until next time, man, we'll catch you back here next week on Twitch at around 8 p.m. Eastern time, where we record it. And then we drop it on Tuesday over on YouTube. Until then, man, remember, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard, love harder. Oogie, say bye, Oogie.
Bye, Oogie.
Bye.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be. You wanna be me.